It's 6 p.m. on Easter Sunday here in Poland. I'm currently in Komorowice, one of the suburbs of the city, and I'm going to walk home from here over that way, but I'm going to take the slightly more scenic route, so there's some points of interest along the way. And the first of those will be this church just here. So join me for this little walk. I'm Christopher Walker. This is Closely Observed World. Funny little anecdote to add to my store of funny little anecdotes. It's an anecdote, it's not really that funny. I was walking past the bus stop just there, and this guy pulled up, called out to me in Polish, he's saying, "Do you know where Karol Kraus Street is?" And I was like, "Well, no, I don't really live here. But is it close to something?" He said, "Yeah, it's close to here." Genius. And this was a minute ago. He went down the road, turned, and I wondered why he turned. There it is. That's the actual road he was looking for. Sometimes I can help people when they ask for directions, but other times I'm not much good. I was going to get my phone out and look it up in Google Maps, but I guess it really wasn't worth the trouble, seeing as he was literally 20 meters away from the place he was looking for. Well, happy Easter to you, sir, whoever you might happen to have been. I've had a couple of minutes to reflect on that anecdote that I shared with you just a moment ago. I described it at the time as being funny, but on reflection, I don't think it actually was. The guy wanted to know where the street was. It was 20 meters away. I didn't know that. He didn't know that. He drove off. He found the street, and then I made a little video clip about that. Not a very funny anecdote. Oh well. Maybe I'll leave it in, maybe I'll take it out, who knows. Here are some red brick buildings. Okay, I've decided I'm not going to apologise for the quality of my anecdotes anymore. I'll be 42 years old this year. My life is not as exciting as it used to be. Certainly not as exciting as it should be if I wanted to be some sort of YouTuber. So when a man asks me directions, only to find that the place he's looking for is 20 metres down the road, and I think it's funny, then I'm going to tell that anecdote and say it's funny. And if you don't like it, well, that's just tough. Meanwhile, here is a semi-abandoned train station. I have no idea if this line is still in use. Judging by the massive coal deposits, I would imagine that there must be something coming this way. I don't know. I think I've seen a train here once, a lot further down the line. The lights are still glowing, suggesting that maybe something will be along. And where is this exactly, you might ask? Well, I will try to pronounce it. This particular station is called Bielsko, Biała, Wschód. Wschód. I don't know how to say it exactly. Well, let me show it to you instead. And so, just over an hour after I set off from Komorowice, I'm almost home. Just the last little climb up the hill to go. I don't like that hill. But there are so many things in life that present continual challenge for us, and we must not shy away from that challenge. If the greatest challenge I face is going up a hill, then so be it. I'm a lucky man. I've really enjoyed this walk though. Thank you for joining me on it. And I'm sorry that I got so aggressive defending my sense of humour, my anecdotes. I'm 42 this year, as I mentioned before. Not that I'm begging for a birthday present or anything like that. Like and subscribe would be quite nice, I suppose. It's just that my life used to be so full of excitement. I didn't need to go hoping for somebody to ask me directions to think of that as a funny anecdote. It's not really. I used to travel. I've been to 50 countries in my life, but I haven't been anywhere really in the last few years. Work and the demands of family life have put pay to all of that. It's a little bit sad really. There's also the little matter of a certain pandemic situation. It's causing problems as well. Speaking of which, it's one of the reasons that I'm glad that I chose today to make this long walk. It's Easter Sunday, as I mentioned, and most people are at home or at church. So I've got the city almost to myself. Hardly a car around. It's nice and peaceful, and you get the best sunset. And with that in mind, I'm going to say goodbye. See you next time. Just like the Snyder Cut, this video has an unnecessary epilogue that kind of seems different tonally and completely out of keeping with the rest. As you can see, it's been snowing. It's only 2 days after the walk home, and yet here I am in the snow. Anyway, I was thinking about that anecdote and I realised that I rather missed the funny part of it in my telling. So, to go over the situation again, a guy pulled up at a bus stop in his car, rolled down the window and spoke to me asking me where something was, and I didn't know. Turned out the place he was looking for was literally 20 metres further down the road, and I saw him drive off and then slow down and turn right, and that was it. But the reason the whole thing was funny, I don't think I really made enough of a deal of it at the time, was the fact that I didn't want to let him go without helping him. That was the funny part. It wasn't him, it was me. So he stopped, he rolled down the window and he said, "Do you know where this place is?" And I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, I don't." He's like, "Oh well." I said, but wait. What is it close to? Are there any shops there or buildings?" He's like, no, it's fine. And I was about to get my phone out to get Google Maps up to find out exactly where this address was that he was looking for. And by then he was almost pissed off with me in a way. It's like, "All right guys, stop it. You're not helping. Stop trying to help." And then he drove off. I mean, he waved and he smiled a little bit, but I don't think he kind of waved or smiled in my direction when he found the street he was after. So that was really the funny part of the anecdote, was the fact that I was so keen to help, to prove my usefulness, that I slowed the guy down from finding the place he was after in the first place. Funny that. Well, that's it really, isn't it? See you around.